Today, we're going to dive into a pretty provocative idea, one that kind of flips what we think we know about intelligence completely on its head. It's this idea that being smarter doesn't automatically make your life better or more connected. Actually, it might be the very thing that sets you apart and makes you feel profoundly alone. You know that feeling, right? You're in a conversation, you're surrounded by people, but you feel completely and totally isolated. You try to share a deeper thought or maybe a more complex idea, and you just get, well, nothing back. Just silence. It's a really weird and frustrating place to be. And this quote, it just nails that experience perfectly. It's that sinking feeling when you realize that trying to connect on a deeper level just pushed people farther away. You might even think, you know what? It's probably just better if I keep my mouth shut. If that sounds familiar to you, trust me, you are not imagining it. So let's get right to the heart of it. What if intelligence, especially a really high level of intelligence, isn't the amazing gift we're all told it is? What if it's actually more like a curse, something that separates you from the world instead of helping you thrive in it? To help us explore this, we're going to turn to the philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer. Now, this guy was brutally honest about how he saw the world, and he argued that a powerful intellect is a huge burden. Why? Because it isolates you. It lets you see right past all the comfortable little illusions that most people build their lives around. So, why does this isolation even happen? Let's start with the external reason, the way society itself is set up. Because, as it turns out, our world isn't really designed for deep thinkers. It's designed for something else entirely. And here's the crucial thing to understand. Most people aren't looking for the truth. They're looking for comfort. It is so much easier to just accept the world the way it is, to follow the rules, than it is to ask those hard questions that might make things uncomfortable. So the thinker, who just can't stop asking those questions, ends up becoming a problem. And this is nothing new. I mean, look at history. It's just littered with examples of society rejecting its sharpest minds. You've got Socrates, who was sentenced to death for pretty much just asking too many questions. Galileo was persecuted for stating a basic scientific fact. Thinkers like Nietzsche were called mad for questioning morality, and innovators like Tesla died poor and forgotten. The message, over and over again, is clear. Society often punishes those who dare to think differently. Okay, so that's the big societal reason. But there's a second one, and this one is a lot more personal, more psychological. It's about how people react one-on-one when they come face-to-face with an intellect that's sharper than their own. Just look at this contrast here. When we see someone with incredible physical strength, we admire them. Someone with a ton of wealth, we might envy them. But superior intellect, that's different. It so often triggers resistance, or sometimes even straight-up hostility. So why is that? Well, it's because of something we can call the mirror effect. A sharp mind acts like a mirror, and it reflects things back at people that they don't want to see. Their own cognitive limits, the superficiality of their conversations, their own tendency to just conform. And nobody likes having a mirror shoved in their face. So instead of engaging with the idea, it's just easier to attack the mirror, or to ignore it completely. So we've seen how society pushes the thinker away and how other people can get hostile. But what about the internal experience? What does it actually feel like to see the world with that kind of clarity? You might think it's great, but it's often a heavy, heavy burden to carry. An intelligent mind sees through the whole smokescreen of comforting beliefs. They realize that things like morality are often just social agreements we've all made up, that the pursuit of happiness is just a meaningless race we're taught to run. They see that most people just want to be told they're right. They don't actually want the truth. And realizing that life doesn't come with any built-in meaning or justice, well, that can be a profoundly alienating thing to understand. And Nietzsche's famous quote here just perfectly captures the psychological price of all that understanding. When you spend your life staring into the complex and often dark truths about the world, eventually that reality starts to stare back, and it changes you. So if you're doomed to see the truth, and society is built to reject you for it, then what? Are you just supposed to despair? Well, not according to Schopenhauer. He actually offers a path forward, a way to find peace, not in spite of your isolation, but because of it. So here's his practical advice. First, you have to completely reframe solitude. It's not a punishment, it's a privilege. It gives you the space you need to think deeply. Second, find your true community, not in everyday chit-chat, but in the great ideas of history, through books, philosophy, art. And third, and this one is so crucial, you have to turn all that insight into creation.
channel that incredible mental energy into doing meaningful work.
And just remember this one last thing, because it's so important. The thinkers we look up to today, they were almost never embraced in their own time. Society only starts to love their ideas once they're not seen as a threat anymore. It seems that for the great thinkers, acceptance often comes long after they're gone.
So we'll end with this question for you to think about. If you've ever felt like you just don't fit in, that you see the world differently, that you're somehow out of step with everyone around you, maybe you're not lost at all. Maybe you're standing exactly where the thinkers and the visionaries and the creators have always stood, on the outside, looking in.